Hello everyone, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, so making a guide for playing Captain Falcon in Ultimate. Let's begin. Alright, so first things first, whatever you consider to be the Smash 4 playbook for Falcon for neutral, let's just throw that in the garbage right now, okay? First and foremost, you can still rely a lot on your movement, especially with just good old dash dancing and things like that. But you're not necessarily going to be going for dash grabs and dash attacks anymore in reaction to literally everything, since his burst options have been weakened by the fact that he no longer has a teleport grab, but simply a fast man with a normal grab. Okay, so a lot of what you're going to be doing in neutral to start is you using a combination of this movement, running jab, F-tilt, and falling there. Alright, so the reason running around into just run up jab is so good is if you want your opponent to not go in specific spaces, or rather you read that they're going to be in a certain place at a certain time, you just run up and jab them. And it's because of how fast it is combined with Falcon's speed, it's just incredible for winning neutral, knocking them off stage, and then just being able to ledge trap them from there. Another really good option when you want something a little beefier than jab, but jab it has too short range, is F-tilt. Compared to Smash 4, this move has 2 less frames on startup and 2 less frames of end lag. So because of that, run up tilt, or like running away up tilt, has gotten significant increase in value. Another good thing you can do is the pivot cancel F-tilt thing, as you can see I'm doing right here. I can link a video for that in the description later, but it's a way of doing sliding F-tilts to where the slide that you would get while doing it, say, drifting backwards, you can then apply while going forwards. So it just basically allows you to extend the range for what is already a pretty long-range kick even further. Another nice thing about F-tilt is if you do it angled downwards, which you can do by hitting the C-stick downwards and the side, you can use it to literally just downward angled F-tilt for a lot of shorter characters. So if like a Kirby is crouching, for instance, you can just run up and downward angled F-tilt them and there's basically nothing they can do, which gives Falcon something he desperately needed for dealing with shorter characters in general. Otherwise, the reason you're going to be doing a lot of Nair 1 stuff is specifically because it's basically to this game what falling up air was to Falcon in the previous one, where you do things like falling single hit Nair into Nairs into whatever, and it generally can lead into quite a lot. Another good thing you can do on some characters is like stuff like that, where you can do single hit Nair immediately into messed up that time, but like just stuff like that. It works on a lot of different characters, but I haven't tested it on Falcon yet. But you can also use it for using the second hit as well, landing with it, so you can do stuff like that. But it's really going to vary based on how you land with it. You really only want to do that against shorter characters who you might not be confident you'll hit with single hit Nair otherwise, or if there's a specific follow-up you want that you're not going to be able to get with regular single hit Nair. But single hit Nair also hit confirms into like knee, it hit confirms into down air and a bunch of other stuff as well. Like you can just do that super easily. The timing on it is really tight and the spacing is very particular, but with practice you'll be able to get it fairly consistently on a lot of different characters. Haven't practiced it on Falcon though, but we'll get there. Otherwise, a lot of other things you'll be doing in neutral are drifting away with back airs because of how safe it is in general, especially with the new attack cancel stuff. Another thing that's going to be good in neutral in general is just running. You don't have to necessarily do anything, but Falcon being as fast as he is means that a lot of the times you'll just be able to run away from things, and then if you read they're going to do something or you react to a whiffed move, you can just come back in and punish it. And since we no longer have the teleport dash grab and ridiculous range dash attack, what this means is a lot of the time when we don't necessarily have that much time to whiff punish something, but we think we can anyway, the best thing to do is to run in, run out, and jab. Since jab is frame 3, it's easily our fastest option for whiff punishing, especially since you can do it out of a run. This is our new whiff punish for the most part. Although, if you think you have a little bit more time and or there's a move you want to armor through, you can use Raptor Boost instead for things like that. Solid 48 damage, you know, nothing insignificant. Otherwise, another thing you can be using in neutral is Raptor Boost if they're going to be on the ground and not go anywhere in the air. The reason for this being is, as I demonstrated a moment ago, Raptor Boost is a pretty solid combo starter. The frame data on the move has effectively shaved half of its startup off to where it's actually pretty decently fast now. And in addition to that, the moment Falcon stops moving from side B, where he stops and then the punch starts coming out, at that moment, Super Armor activates to where you can just power through someone's tilts, you can power through someone's whatever. Doesn't really matter, you can just go through it. And it'll just lead up into a ton of stuff, and since it's so much faster, it's fairly safe on shield as well, and you can just use it to much more easily cover openings and just squeeze yourself into tiny little openings you might not be able to otherwise. Let's see. Alright, got that out of the way. Another thing you can do that I forgot to mention is you can, at percents where you might not necessarily be able to effectively true combo, say, Nair into knee or down air, you can do this instead. And it's a true combo. It kills a lot better at the ledge, but like you can do... Like if you do that at the ledge, it's just a true kill confirm. It's pretty nice. It's especially good against a lot of lighter characters as well. And I'll start showing you stuff that you can do on other stages as well. Alright, so... Otherwise, let's see... That mostly covers it in neutral, although you can also, against characters with weaker projectiles like Mega Man, you can actually Falcon kick through their projectiles now. They decrease the startup on Falcon Kick in this game, and because of that, there are a fair amount of moves that you can either trade with or just flat out beat through using Falcon Kick, and since it's faster, you'll be able to do that as well. It's also worth noting that the move has pretty non-existent end lag when you land with it off stage, so because of that, you can use it around this position as like a bad monkey flip of sorts, where you can not necessarily combo it into up air, but you can frame trap them into up air with Falcon Kick, which is a sentence I never thought I would utter, but here we are. Alright, that mostly covers it for Falcon's neutral in this game. Obviously you're going to rely on some other stuff as well, but let's move on to Punish game. Alright, so Punish... Wait, I actually did Battlefield mode. Let me go to FD real quick, but some things you'll be able to do on some other different characters. Let's go with good old Chrom, since he's a rather prevalent character in the current metagame. I forgot to change it to regular FD. So, while I'm being dumb, I'll go over something else instead. So a lot of your basic follow-ups in this game are going to be based on single hit Nair, down throw into short hop immediate up air, and just a combination of Raptor Boost stuff, down air at mid percent, and you can also use second hit Nair and attack cancel back air for a fair amount of stuff as well. Like, I can demonstrate something that's pretty good on a lot of characters and does an enormous amount of damage. You can do stuff like single hit Nair, into grab, into down throw, stuff like that. You can do single hit Nair, into grab, into this. You can do another one that I'm particularly growing fond of is that. Things like that, or another possibility for that tree is stuff like that. It obviously varies based on different characters, but you can do that, into that, into that. I messed up that one, but you're getting the idea. My execution is sloppy right now, but once a lot of this stuff is mastered, it'll get to a point where we're going to have some pretty juicy and delicious follow-ups that are very consistent on a lot of different characters. And I'm looking forward to that day when I stop being bad. Okay, so some other stuff you can do is like just regular this. And percents where you're not going to be able to combo down throw into neutral air into another neutral air, what I personally recommend is doing either Raptor Boost, which is a lot more applicable, like stuff like that. Or you can do like down throw neutral air into jab, like you can do down throw into neutral air into dash attack, and then just like chase them with stuff like that. You can do down throw neutral air. That other combo stuff that you can do is at mid percents. I'll demonstrate in a moment. You can true combo back air into side B, which is pretty good. It's really good, actually. But like, really solid true combos, does a ton of damage. The execution and timing is a little bit tight, but if you execute properly, that is a true combo, as you saw in the combo counter. Just one of those things you can work on. Otherwise, something else that's kind of silly you can do is single hit nair into single hit nair into like Falcon kick or whatever. Another thing you can do on a lot of characters at higher percents is you can force this 150-50 into a kill. It starts about right here or something. And while that's not a true combo after the up B, if they don't air dodge, it is a true combo. Because they're not outside of a very few specific situations where they're going to be able to like throw a move with invincibility out. If they don't air dodge, they're going to get hit by the up B, and so because of that, you can just kill confirm them in a way you normally wouldn't be able to. But make sure that if you're doing it, you do so with the full double jump up air. Otherwise, you're not going to be close enough to take advantage of the frame advantage that is necessary to beat all of their options except for air dodge. Otherwise, if you predict they're going to air dodge, you can either wait for it and up B them anyway. You can drift back to the stage and then like do up air knee. Or if they try and air dodge away, something that's a little bit silly but applicable is you can do like that. Since you're all the way out there to begin with, if they air dodge to the side, since they don't drift immediately, you can literally react to it and then Raptor Boost them. And since you can act out of aerial Raptor Boost on hit, it's not entirely unsafe, which is an interesting world to live in. Another thing regarding Punish game is Falcon Punch is actually extremely strong in this game, so if you use the high amount of shield damage that his knee does on shield, for instance, and you break someone's shield, then you can just, because of the new mechanics, you can run them to the edge and then just reverse Falcon Punch them and they die. And it's wonderful. Instead of going for elaborate punishes that aren't necessarily going to yield you what you want, you just run them to the edge, reverse Falcon Punch, bam. And it will kill almost anyone at extremely low percents, even with good DI. Like, with good DI, Crom could probably survive at, like, around 20, but even then, if you have a little rage, you might be able to kill him even earlier. And it goes with a lot of other characters as well to get the idea. Other stuff you can do in Punish game is, if they're at higher percents, something that's particularly reliable as like an out of shield option is just good old down air into knee for a melee. This works at a variety of percents against a lot of different characters. You can also do stuff like there's this silly combo, true combo, they're just dead by the ledge. Stuff like that. You can do nair knee. Good old, this is probably our most reliable kill combo actually, is just nair knee. You can also do nair down air. You can do, at higher percents where you aren't necessarily confident you'll be able to get them with that in particular, you can do nair, messed it up, but you can do like nair into back air. You can do nair into up B. You can do nair down air. Plus, if you're feeling really frisky, you could go for like single hit nair into Raptor Boost at lower percents. Like, let's see. I think you can do it around here if I remember correctly. Stuff like... And depending on when you time that, if you do it around here, then even if you miss with Raptor Boost, you can just go back to the ledge. Fun times. And of course, those combos do an enormous amount of damage, so it's just good to have in general. Let's see. Otherwise, for punish game, you're going to rely on a combination of whiff punishing with jab. If you think you have a little bit more time, whiff punish with Raptor Boost instead. You can just weave in and out and then do sliding F tilts as a way of controlling space and just boxing them out a little bit. You can still drift away with back airs, which are good. Against shorter characters, you want to rely on things like that. But you get the idea. Now for offstage. So with offstage, Falcon can obviously struggle a bit, such as the life of the character. But there's enough versatility and your recovery options to where for the most part you'll be able to recover against almost anything, almost every time, as long as you're smart about how you use your options. For example, something you want to note is that a lot of times you can tell how your opponent is going to edgeguard you, not necessarily by what buttons they're pressing, but by what part of the stage they're on right now. For instance, if they're about right here, and they haven't pressed any buttons yet, they're probably just going to ledge trap you. In which case, something smart you can do is like, if you're high up, you can just fast fall, air dodge, and then up B low. If you think they're going to try and come after you, usually represented by them hanging around the ledge, this means they're probably going to come after you with like aerials or whatever, in which case you can do just double jump up B high and be fine. Or if you're feeling frisky, you can go for Raptor Boost setups, but obviously that's a lot easier to beat out than a lot of your other things. Because you can act out of Raptor Boost, I recommend being a little more aggressive with it than you might normally be. Like you can do shenanigans like this, for instance. If you think they're going to press a certain button and you just want to punish it, stuff like that. If you think they're going to come after you and you aren't necessarily able to get around it, you can just try and air dodge through it and grab the ledge. Pretty good option for Falcon. And otherwise, just try to ask yourself what they're going to do at any given time, or rather, what are they most likely to do based on what they've done before and their current position, and then just use whatever you can to get around it. If you think they're going to try and edgeguard you really low, you can do something along the lines of air dodge and then reverse up B to try and force a reversal on them. You can recover high and then just fast fall with the up B and like grab the ledge or whatever. You can do this to where you just air dodge on stage, stuff like that. Otherwise, when you have opponents off stage, you usually want to rely on a combination of falling weak knee into nair, which is incredible by the way. Drifting off with back airs, which you can then reinforce with up B if they miss at any point. Going for down air by the ledge, this can true frame a lot of characters, and I recommend mastering the timing as well as you can. That way, against a lot of characters, you won't even have to put yourself in any real risk, but you'll be able to kill them with a decent amount of consistency at not high percents, which is pretty great. And even against characters where you don't flat out kill them, since everyone's recoveries are generally worse across the board, there's a good chance you'll be able to just finish them off anyway with either another down air, going off stage with like weak knee nair. You know, you're getting the idea. Otherwise, you're going to rely on a combination of just a lot of back airs and a lot of down airs and weak knee nair. Reverse up B is good as well, although it's a little bit risky, and I recommend practicing it a lot because being able to force reversals and killing your opponent for it at relatively low percents is always a nice thing to have. And even if you don't flat out kill them, you'll often put them in a position to where it's not unrealistic for you to be able to go off stage with weak knee into nair, or back airs, more up B, so on and so forth. Things like that. Let's see. The main things I would recommend is just to focus on learning matchups as much as you can and just figuring out how to get around a lot of your opponent's hitboxes. Falcon's a lot more honest in this game than he was in Smash 4, but he's also significantly more versatile in what he can do. In Smash 4, you kind of just had falling aerials and your teleport grab, whereas now you have jab, which is amazing for just running up and doing it for stopping movement, reading movement, or you just want to keep your opponent from going in a certain spot. You can just run up jab and then just chase them, and it's great. Run up F tilt is a pretty safe option, and while it doesn't get you much, it's decent damage, and at higher percents you can do things like weak F tilt, like downward angled F tilt, and then just it'll set up into tech chases, which you can cover with a lot of other stuff. Now the last thing I wanted to get into is tech chasing, which Falcon is actually pretty good at in this game, and one of the better characters, in fact. Some stuff you can do is at like higher percents you can do like downward angled F tilt into down air if they don't tech it, and if you have enough time to where you can down air pretty much right when they're forced to tech, what'll happen is even if they tech it, they'll still get hit anyway, but if they tech roll away, since you land with it pretty much immediately, you'll have enough time to where you can then chase after them. I personally recommend going after them with like Raptor Boost if it misses. That way you can then combo it into like full hop up air into full hop up air into potentially up B or stuff like that. Or you can just rely on a combination of that into like downward angled F tilt into read where they're going to go into down air, things like that. You can also do this with platforms as well, and it's quite effective, so I recommend practicing it. Try and not necessarily hit them immediately, but assume they're going to tech intelligently, and then just try and cover as many of their options as you can. Or if you don't think you can cover that many options, just focus on covering the one you think they're going to go for the best you can. A good example would be like immediate, like short hop nair 1 into up airs, into nair, and then once they're on the platform, like read their Tekken with like down air into more up airs or down air knee, down air F smash, things like that. All of which are true combos and extremely good to have with him in general. I'm also going to show you guys a few other things that are useful to know that a lot of people are underlooking but are great to have access to in general. Most of them are specific with platform stages like Battlefield, Pokemon Stadium, and a few others. So if you do say single hit nair into immediate buffered up air, which is easier than ever because of the new macro, what this means is I'll show you the percents where it works. Like let's put Crom at like 40. I think this is around the right percentage. I can't remember right now, but you can do like, yeah, but he needs to be a little bit higher. Let's try like, no, it's, I'm telling you, this is gonna be worth it. Like, it's very percent specific, but you can, but on a lot of characters you can do like nair 1 into up air, and you can do triple up air before you land on the platform, which can just combo into knee potentially. It can combo into more up airs, it can combo into other stuff, and it's just really good to have in general. It also just gives you a lot of frame advantage that you can use for other stuff, like you can just really good for covering space as well, like harassing someone on a platform. If like you miss the first up air, but then you hit them with the next one, you can just do up air into knee, or up air into up B, up air into up air or nair, things like that. And it's great to have. And of course, like I mentioned earlier, you can just combo nair 1 into up B and nair 1 into back air and all that stuff. Otherwise, you can also, at lower percents, combo off of up throw, although it's a lot more situational, and I only recommend doing it on platform stages. Specifically if they're on a lower level. Like, around here you can do like up air into jabs, solid 38.6 damage. You can do things like, or I messed up that time, but you get the idea. I think that more or less covers everything I wanted to go over. Sorry that this is a little bit later than I'd hoped it would be, but I just wanted to make sure that I understood exactly how to play this character before anything else. A lot of his, fair warning, his punish game is extremely tight when it comes to his openings, so I wouldn't recommend playing this character unless you're down for a challenge and you know that it's going to be worth the reward, which I assure you it is. He's going to be an amazing character eventually. But otherwise, thank you for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/FatalityFalcon. I'd like it if you liked and subscribed to my channel here on YouTube if you enjoy. You can follow and subscribe to me on Twitch at twitch.tv/FatalityFalcon. And otherwise, if you just enjoy the content, feel free to share it and anything else. I'll be making more content for Falcon and others soon, and probably making a link guide fairly soon as well, so hope you guys look forward to that, and have a good night.